Hi and welcome to today's webinar, which is on the subject of inconsistent income. So the aim of today is to help everybody that's listening in either live on this webinar or recorded to understand why their income might be inconsistent and to know one thing that they can change to be able to make their income more consistent. So as always, this is just a 20-minute webinar designed to fit into a lunch hour. If you can see the slides, brilliant. If you can't see the slides, you should be able to just listen to this as audio as well, and it should be self-explanatory. But if you're requested a recording, I'll send over the slideshow to you as well. Okay, so cracking on. First of all, I'm just going to quickly introduce myself. So my name's Sally. The reason I am running these series of webinars is because I have a business called 30 Days, and that was born from the fact that I've actually run my own businesses for the last 30 years, and those businesses have always been working from home as a solo business owner. So I felt that I wanted to pass on some nuggets that I've learned, because I think I've probably made pretty much every mistake that you can make. So my background, I set up a nanny agency in my early 20s and was able to sell that for a 5-figure sum before I was 30. From there, I set up an IT business, scaled that to be able to employ staff, was very stressed, very overworked, and then started up a network marketing business, which is product based. Alongside that, I've got a property portfolio. And for some time I ran those as serviced accommodation, so I ran those as Airbnbs. So I feel like I've got a really good experience of all different kinds of businesses, and the main thing being that every single one of those businesses I got to a point where I did actually make really good income. And even now with a product-based business, I have a really good income from that, and I do know that not everybody is fortunate to have a consistent income, which is why I launched both the series of webinars and also the 30-day blueprint that is my main business for this side of the business. So I will take you through some information. So in my 30 years of business, I've obviously come into contact with huge amounts of other business owners. I do a lot of business networking, and I've also done mentoring for the last 14 years. And what I find is that most, not all, but most business owners fit into one of two places. They will either be extremely busy, so they will work full-time hours, way longer than full-time hours. Their diary's full, constantly doing things, constantly having meetings, constantly networking, posting on social media, and their bank balance doesn't reflect the hours that they put into their business. And that's the main point of my entire business, really, is to help you get to a point. If you're working that many hours, you need to be earning the income that goes alongside those hours. And if you're a startup, obviously that's not going to happen straight away, but there should become a point where if you're working full-time hours, you're getting a full-time income for that. And that's what 30 days is all about, is helping you get to that point. The other side is people that aren't busy because they don't know what to do. So they're lost. They sit down at their desk on a Monday morning and they've got no idea what to do. Or they don't even sit down at their desk on a Monday morning because they've got no idea what to do. And their business isn't moving forward because they don't know the steps to take to move their business forward. Or they might be so paralysed by fear they're not actually doing anything because they don't know where to start. So they don't start. But that is not a business owner's fault. So most people that run their own business have come into a business in one of two ways. They might have done the job and then they've set up on their own. That's quite common. You work for someone and you think, I could do this better. So my first business was a nanny agency. I was in my 20s. I was a nanny. I'd lost a job through having my appendix removed, and I got sacked. This was 30 years ago. Things like this don't happen anymore. And I was registered with nanny agencies to try and get another job. And they were sending me to jobs that I was never going to take. So they were wasting both my time and the parents' time every single time. So I decided to set up on my own. So it wasn't necessarily a job that I did, but I was already in the field, and I saw loads and loads of nanny agencies around me, and I felt that they weren't doing a very good job. So I decided to set up on my own. Now, this is in the days before social media, so it was all yellow pages and website, which was hilarious. But I was one of those people that saw something and went, I'm going to do that. Now, I was a nanny, so I didn't have any business experience. I learned it all working from home on my own without the internet, which is really interesting, but with a real desire to achieve. Now, huge amounts of people have a day job, and then that day job turns into a business because they decide that they can do it better themselves. And you can, but it's nearly 50% of business owners have never had any business training at all. They've just done a job, ended up working on their own, or massive passion. So loads of people that are watching this webinar will go, I'm really, really passionate about what I do. So there's something that's inspired them. They started a business. They may be amazing at servicing their clients, looking after their clients, doing what it is that they're really, really good at. But are they good at running a business? And as I say, that's not your fault. If nobody's ever taught you, it's not your fault. And also, a lot of the resources that are out there are really inaccessible for small business owners. So your average business coach is £300 an hour. Well, when I ran my own businesses, at the point that I needed somebody to help me, I didn't have that sort of money. At the point I had that sort of money, I then didn't need the help. So I'm really sympathetic to people that really, really need some sort of help, probably don't even know what help, but actually the funds aren't there anyway. So these are the nuggets that help you get a more consistent income. So if you've been in business a while, there will be invoices that you've raised for either a product or a service. And you should, as a business owner, be able to trace that back and work out where that money came from. So what activity did you do that brought in your last paid client, sale, etc.? And then when you look at what you're planned for this week, so as I'm doing this live, it's Monday lunchtime, got the whole week ahead of you. So either look at the week just gone or the week coming up, just look at a few days. How much of your diary is actually doing that activity that brought the last sale in? And then have a look at what else is in your diary and look at where your other sales came from. And if you don't know where your sales come from, you need to start checking. You need to know that process of where you're getting your business from. If you're a startup, then obviously that's slightly different. So bear with me, you're going to get some other pointers of how to actually get some income in. Okay, so what did you do that brought income in? Now, for a lot of people, posting on social media isn't going to result in a sale. It's getting your name out there, but it's not going to result in a sale. For a lot of people, sending out an email won't get a sale. So if you've got an email database, that's absolutely brilliant. How often do you send out an email and somebody books there and then or buys there and then? Unlikely to happen. It's about doing a lot of different things. So when you look at that, if you know where your money came from, then you can start doing more of the same activity. Okay, so it might be a conversation you had with somebody, it might be a referral from another business owner, It might have been a direct message that you sent out. It might have been a follow-up call. But certainly your blanket marketing is a point of contact, but it's less likely to actually get you a sale or a sign up. Obviously, we're talking about product-based businesses and services here. Okay, so to get your income consistent, you need to do a couple of things. Firstly, you need to work out where your sales come from, and you need to be consistent with doing that activity. And it's as simple as that. I've run businesses for 30 years. When my income dips, it's because I'm not doing the right things. It's either I'm not doing anything at all, which is fine. You know, if you want to take some time off, that's wonderful, if you can afford to do that. Or it's a case of I'm doing the wrong things. Decorating your office is not something that's going to bring an income in. Revamping your logo is not going to bring an income in. It's a great thing to do, but it's not actually going to work. Okay, so these are a few things that I've learned in 30 years of business. Now, first of all, did you know that most sales happen with the 5th to 12th contact? So if you go to one networking event and talk to a person, they're so unlikely to buy from you. So you need to add them to your system. You need to add them to the emails. You need to add them to your social media so that they get touches from you. And those touches count as a point of contact. But what really works, and this is the bit that people get very frightened by, is reaching out. It's the outreach. That's what brings in sales. So if you're a startup business or you've been in business for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, it's your outreach that works. And it's learning how to outreach without feeling uncomfortable or cringe. And follow up. So it's initial outreach and follow up. And again, make it as much as possible about your prospective client, etc., so that they feel like you're building a relationship with them, not just going in for the sale. Okay, so if you attend a networking event, which I'm sure most people watching this webinar will have done, do you follow up? Because if you don't, why go to the networking event? So if you're going to 5 networking events a week, following up none, I'd challenge you to change, go to one network event and follow up. And by follow up, I mean the people that you actually spoke to, or the people that you really, really wanted to speak to, but you didn't get round to. I don't mean send a blanket email down the attendees list going, oh, it's great to meet you yesterday, and you've actually just sent it to 3 people that weren't even there. Because I've been on the receiving end of those emails and they're very, very cringe. So forget the copy and paste messages, forget the blanket emails, speak to 3 or 5 people while you're at a networking event, take their details and follow them up properly. Or if there's somebody at that event that you really, really think you could work with, reach out to them and go, well, I'm really, really sorry. It was a really busy event. Every time I looked at you, you were talking to somebody else. Is there any chance we can have a chat? Okay. Asking your clients for referrals. So again, we're talking about the things that aren't that comfortable, and I'm well aware of that. So sending out a blanket email is pretty medium on the comfort scale, isn't it? Posting on your social media is pretty medium on the comfort scale. So if you've had a referral, if you've got a client, so again, we're not talking about startups here, we're talking about people that have been going for a while. Your last 5 paying clients, be they a customer or a service client, have you asked them for a referral? So if they're happy with what you did you ask them for a referral? Because if you didn't, you're missing an absolutely massive trick. So 91% of clients said that they would give a referral if asked. 11% of businesses ask. Only 11% of businesses ask their happy clients for a referral. So what do you say? Really simple. If you know anyone that could benefit from what I do, I'd really appreciate an introduction. Simple. But again, we're not doing blanket copy and pastes anymore. We're not doing AI messages. You're going to write an individual, very nice message. Because if you sent out 5 messages and you got 5 referrals back, that's worth your time. So give it the time. Write a really lovely message. We can all spot copy and paste. Okay. And the other thing is, at some point during a conversation with somebody that you think is a prospective client, or you've sent them a quote, they've asked for more details, etc., etc., you're going to have to ask for the sale. So 1 in 4 business owners in a sales situation ask for the sale. So 3 out of 4 business owners don't ask for the sale. Okay, so you have to say, shall I put that on order for you? Would you like to put that into the diary? Shall we go ahead? Okay, not let me know if you're interested. That's flaky. You've got to go direct with it. Now, the caveat to this is you're not going direct on your first conversation, not unless they've really said to you, I'm really, really interested, where can I buy that, etc., etc. You're going to build a relationship with them and then go from there. Okay, so these are your tasks. We're on 17 minutes. This is a 20-minute webinar, so we're on schedule. So this is your task for today or tomorrow morning. You're going to look at your diary and you're going to look at your sales invoices, and you're just going to have a little bit of a look. Do they add up? What is booked into your diary for this week? Is that likely to bring in money by the end of the week? And are you all right with that? If you're having an admin week, a tidy up your website week, that's absolutely fine. But if you're having I would like to see some sales and get some revenue in by the end of the week, what activities are in your diary that you know bring in income? Because that's what it's all about. So it only takes 10 minutes to review your diary and go, am I time wasting? Am I busy but not productive? Have I got the right amount of clients booked in? So potential clients. Am I doing outreach? Am I doing follow-up? Or am I hiding behind the colour of my logo? Because trust me, we've all been there. I get uncomfortable. I tidied my office up. So it's about getting uncomfortable, but it's also about doing it in a way that's not cringy. Because if you do it in a way that's not cringy, it becomes second nature and it becomes really, really comfortable. Okay, so as I said at the beginning, this webinar is as a result of me founding a business called 30 Days. So 30 Days is actually only 2 months old. So what it is it's a blueprint, and it's exactly for business owners like you. So it's for the business owners that are either lost or they're busy, but their income is not showing the effort they're putting in or matching their goals. So it's a 30-day program. You can start any date of the month. It doesn't have to be start at the beginning of the month or anything like that. And every day you do tasks, you have a lesson, and the main thing you're doing is you're building a habit. So you're building the right actions for your business. So anybody that's watching this webinar, there's a 24-hour offer. It's normally £47, reducing it down to £37. As I say, we're only 2 months old, and that's why it's offered at £47 at the moment. Eventually it's going to go up to £97 for the blueprint. So it's a 30-day program which just gets you on the right tracks. So either people that are busy but not doing the right activities, or people that are just lost, sitting down at the desk every single morning and wondering what to do. This is the answer. So it gives you the actions to take every day, it gives you lessons and tasks, and it's got accountability built in. So if you follow it properly, you are actually going to achieve real results. So you can go to my website 30days.co.uk. I will email everybody a special offer code, but if you want the special offer code, it's basically webinar discount, all lowercase. So 30days.co.uk, webinar discount. There's loads of information on the website as well, and there's a free download on there as well. So it's been a pleasure. We're on 20 minutes 36 seconds, so we're almost on time. Any questions, etc., just reach out to me. All my contact details are on the website 30days.co.uk. Thank you.